Sawubona. Sawubona, you creative visionary. Hibo. You know what? I need somebody to come and help me. Honestly, I really need somebody to come and help me with this stupid thing. I don't know what is going on with this stupid thing. I'm complaining. First thing. It's because it's too long. I'm learning so much. Good morning, beauties. Good morning, lovers. Yo, it's been a day. It's been a morning. Yo, it's been a morning. Don't I look so beautiful? You look so beautiful. So beautiful. So beautiful. Let's do something. There. At least so we can have some space here, you know. So, good morning. Good morning. How are you? Igama lam uThembelihle Ntombi kaButhelezi, Queen bringer of good hope. She's here. She's here. So today I am thinking we are going to start with 904 song. And today I think we're going to focus on gratitude. Yeah, we're just going to focus on gratitude. I really just want to focus on gratitude today. Gratitude. Gratitude for what? The world is falling apart. People are this, people are this. No, I'm just grateful for my life. And I want us to be both grateful for our lives. How about that? Okay, let's bang away the drum. You know, this drum, this drum, it's got power. It's got some power. There's no such thing on the outside of you that has power. It is the consciousness that you carry that is the power that gets infused into whatever you are touching. And because I think so many people think, you know, if we could steal somebody's thing, it will give us power. It's not the thing. It's not the thing. It is the power of the person coming through them, which is actually just God power, that is touching the thing. So even if you can steal this drum, it's not going to work as well as it works when I bang away at it. It's not. Okay? Human beings. Okay. So we're going to raise our vibration in gratitude and start there. So take a deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Good. I have to turn down this mic a bit because this drum is strong, you know. Even my auto tune is like spazzing out when I'm banging away at my drum. amazulu ayabonga, abaphansi bayabonga umsebenzi wabo, umsebenzi wabo sowuqalile. Amazulu ayabonga, amazulu ayabonga, amazulu ayabonga. Amadlozi ayabonga, amadlozi ayabonga, umphefumulo wami uyabonga. Umoya wami uyabonga, 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 uyabonga. Taking a deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Deep breath in through the nose. And out through the mouth. If your eyes are closed, please open them. If you're just like wondering, oh my goodness, yazi wasishaya lesigubhu lengane, meaning wow, whoa, ugirl wasishaya lesigubhu. Wow, wasishaya lesigubhu. Meaning she just banged away that drum. This is how we. Hey, my goodness, joy! I almost just fell a thing. This is how. Did you see? Oh my goodness, they were like. Did you see that? Or am I the only one that saw that? Oh my goodness. They are here. They are here. Yo. Okay, so that's okay. When I bang away at my drum, I am making a sacred. I am opening up a sacred space for the highest levels of ascended masters, ancestors, soul of humanity. I am telling them, I am informing them, good, yo, it's time now. It's time. The sacred space is open. It's time. Okay. So in Africa, we use the drum to open up sacred space. Because if you feel your heartbeat goes doom, 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 doom. The heartbeat of the earth is the same. So when we drum in Africa, yo, you can go into, you go into a trance. And when you go into a trance, especially when you sing, we say in Africa, song is prayer multiplied. It's prayer multiplied. So depending on what vibration you're in and what song is coming through you, I never know what song is going to come through me. It's like I don't prepare any of this. I meditate in the morning and I do my prayer work, and then I come and sit here because now I'm living my purpose. I'm fulfilling my purpose. I just do my prayer work silently, do my meditation, which is my mindfulness mentoring sessions, as I do with you, and I just check my sensations. And then sometimes I'll listen to some YouTubers after I'm finished with that, and then like kind of tap into consciousness. And yeah, I do. And then I come here because what I realized is that I was living in some frequencies, dimensions, where I wasn't resonating with humanity. I was on some level, but I really wasn't resonating with humanity. I would be speaking about things and people would look at me like I've got 10 heads. And I'm like, this is not working so well. So I'm so thankful for the YouTubers that I listen to. They kind of like help me understand what's going on in the different realities. Because I live in my own reality. Yesterday I went to go see the Africans. I was so happy to be with the Africans. Oh my goodness, the Africans they remind me, I was with the Ethiopians yesterday. The Ethiopians, I was just like, I really just missed being around the Ethiopians. I just missed being around the Africans. And I met some Africans who are just Ethiopians and other African countries, people from other African countries. But they had just arrived in Bangkok, in Bangkok, as the Japanese would say. But they had just arrived in Bangkok and they were still kind of like fresh. So they still smelled of Africa. There's a smell that you have and there's an energy vibration that you have from Africa. My body was just like charged. Like my whole energetic field was like charged Africa. And I was like, yeah, I remember that. So that was really nice. And then the traumas, I said, I was speaking to this one Ethiopian guy. He was telling me about how he lived through ethnic cleansing and he ran away. And I was just like, the trauma we are living through as humanity. It is something else. It's something else, It's something else. Which brings us to the reading of today. I really hadn't planned on going to be around Africans, but just finding Little Africa was just so uplifting for my spirit. If you kind of, I think because I'm an expat and I've lived this expat life for a long, long time now, number one, but number two, traveling throughout many cultures and energy fields. When I find a little Africa, and I don't want to spend too much time in it because it's kind of like I chose in this lifetime to be born into the African cosmology and African energy system. Sometimes it can be too overwhelming for me. And to bring medicine and to strengthen the medicine and to keep the medicine clean, I can't be in that energy for too long. So it was really very nice to just have that infusion, especially African men. These ones that I was talking to yesterday were beautiful African men. Honestly, they were really beautiful African men. But I was like, that trauma. But these ones were very... I hate that. I hate it. But these ones were very aware. Like they were aware. They were even saying, I can't sleep. They were in tune. It's like it took my dad a long time to be aware, to come to that awareness after he'd stopped with the hustle and the hustle of trying to raise the family, putting his daughters through private school, burning out, being a father, being a man, being all of these roles that he had to play. When he crashed, he just like collapsed and had his own burnout experience. And after some years of this burnout experience, 2017, I started having really deep dialogue with my dad. And he was aware. He was awake at that moment. My dad was always awake. He was just always a visionary, seeing into the future. I mean, I was having conversations about what's happening now with my dad at the age of 8 years old. 8 years old, my dad was telling me that these things are going to happen. He's like, you get a job, you learn as much as you need to learn from that job, and you get out and you start your own thing. You don't ever work and sell your time and have someone tell you what to think, how much you're going to get paid, when to go to work, when to clock out. You don't engage in that energy. I was like, okay, but it was like, it was drilled into me every day, 4 hours a day. It was drilled into me. On top of that, reading the Bible. So my dad was always awake. The reason I'm sharing the story with you and this vignette with you is because we're going to be going into our reading, and it's the theme of today. But it was drilled into me, drilled. Entrepreneurship was drilled into me because my grandfather was an entrepreneur. My great-grandfather was an entrepreneur. My grandfather was an entrepreneur. I come from a lineage of entrepreneurs. So entrepreneurship was drilled into me, but entrepreneurship can be so overwhelming because most entrepreneurs are isolated. Most entrepreneurs are struggling on their own. Most entrepreneurs have a lot of mental health issues. Honestly, most entrepreneurs have a lot of mental health issues. The stress levels, the burnout, the fear. But I think when you embark upon the entrepreneurship journey, you are is in essence saying, I trust that the living God within me will supply all of my needs. Then you go on a journey, the hero or heroine's journey, to dissolve every illusion, delusion, lie, and confusion that creates devastating consequences in your life. That I really believe that's the entrepreneurship's journey. It's to dissolve every lie, because just my entrepreneurship journey, it's been about dissolving every lie that I tell myself, that society has created, that has been in existence for over, who knows, 4,000, 5,000 life years. It's just been about dissolving all of these and looking them straight in the eye and saying, death is not real, I am immortal. Death is not real, I am immortal. Because ultimately, every entrepreneur is afraid that they are going to die. Their business is going to die. They're not going to have money. They are going to fail, which is death. Death shows up in so many different ways. Death is not just, I'm going to die, especially as an entrepreneur. As an entrepreneur, you're facing all sorts of deaths. What was that? I don't know. Was that my computer? I think I'm live. Hold on. I don't know what's happening. Okay, something happened. I don't know what was happening. Okay, sorry. So death is not just the death of your body temple going into the ground. Death is looking at everything you believe and saying, this is not true. illusion, delusion, lie, creates confusion, devastating consequences. Not interested. Not interested. And what I am starting to notice now is that that's truly the path of entrepreneurship, is to face all of these deaths. Employees, they are now coming to this awakening. Bang, 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 bang. Because now the jobs are going away. The jobs are going away. The health insurance going away. So now you're going to have to face the illusion, delusion, lie of stable employment. So now you're going to face the money lies. You're going to face this lie that the government, or if you're a federal employer, has your back. No, the God has your back. Your ancestors have your back. And you got to also be very conscious about what ancestor you call on, because there's a lot of low-level ancestors. That's why I never went to go initiated in Africa, because I'm like, what ancestors are they talking about? Who are these ancestors? What's going on here? Right? So if you're employed by a very fancy company and you've got perks and benefits and all of these things, if you get laid off, now you don't have all of these perks, and now the mental health collapses. That because if it takes you 5 months, 8 months to get a job, you are used to a cushy lifestyle based on an illusion that you are safe at these jobs. And when these jobs collapse and the stock market keeps rising, but yet they are giving you severance packages, you are mad as hell. You are angry like nobody's business. The grief, yo. And if you are used to getting therapy all the time because you have fancy insurance, and now all of a sudden all of this stuff is gone, you start spiraling, because you just like, what's going on? 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 You start even stuttering. And this energy, this annihilation energy, is going to get you where you are most afraid, where you are the weakest. If it's your security around employment, around work, paying your mortgages, your private school tuition for your children, all of this stuff, this is where it's going to get you. Because I saw it with my dad. That was his struggle. That was his fear, being a great provider. Putting his children through private school. He was an insurance broker, had his own brokerage. And then when he got sick, he got sick. He had TB. And he just spiraled out. But because he had the lineage of entrepreneurship, he switched and then just went back to what he came from. Where he came from was like an empire of bodegas and shops and vegetables, selling vegetables to the local people in Soweto. So that helped him with the to stay financially stabilize, so that he could still feed his family and put his children through private school until he got better. But I really believe when he went through that experience, it was his midlife crisis. He was going through midlife crisis. But in Africa, nobody talks about midlife crisis. And even still now, men don't talk about midlife crisis. Who talks about midlife crisis? What man talks about midlife crisis? Honestly, what man talks about midlife crisis? So I was asking these African men yesterday, these Ethiopians, is these kinds of questions. I was having a conversation with men about these kinds of questions. I'm like, I'm back doing my work. I'm back doing my work with like some of these men were so big. They were so big. They were so tall. I said, "Where you're from?" But I've always been like this. I love being around men. They make me feel happy. They give me a charge. Sane men, sexy men who, these ones were Muslim, and they were telling me about their practice, their spiritual practice, and how their spiritual practice keeps them centered. And then they were telling me, yeah, no, PTSD, from the wars in Ethiopia. I said, right. My dad didn't have that languaging. There was nothing in South Africa about PTSD. My dad knew there was something wrong. He was having a spiritual awakening during midlife crisis in his 40s. He had TB, which is an illness of the lungs, which really is about anger. That's why I encourage everyone, whether you're a male or a female, to go to a steam room. Find a steam room. Instead of doing your nails, go to steaming if you are in America, Europe. Please find a Russian steam house, a bath house, and go and steam out your lungs. You have no idea how much anger is in your body temple. If you do not have the money to be enclosed in a steam room, please go take a bucket and look on the Googles or on the ChatGPTs. This is what ChatGPT is good for. Okay, if you don't have grandmothers and aunties who are shamans, who are traditional healers, look on them Googles. Maybe I'll look on them Googles for you or on the ChatGPTs. But I know what herbs work for me for steaming. But you can just look on them Googles. You can put Vicks Vapor Rub. In South Africa, my grandmothers used to put Vicks Vapor Rub, and my grandmother had a garden, and then she would put roses and some other flowers, and then she would put boiling hot water in there. Steam, perfume la. And she would just steam out my lungs, steam out my lungs, steam out my lungs. And I continue to steam. Now, the only reason I'm actually going to work now is so that I can go to the spa. Honestly, I really don't care about working. Honestly, I really don't care about working. I was talking to these guys, and I was just like, yeah, we should start a healing center and stuff like that. These guys were like, therapy is a luxury for Africans. I said, right, it is a luxury, but a luxury you cannot afford not to have. What do you mean therapy is a luxury? You've just spent here at the restaurant maybe 1,000 baht, which is $30. Okay, men need to eat, but what else are you going to do with your money? You need to invest in your healing. Oh, yes, but we thought it's very expensive. I said, it is very expensive to heal. It cost me $380,000. And just to freaking laugh, again, to remember how to laugh, cost me an extra $400,000 because I had to sell everything. My house, okay. And then kind of like take my money and go and sit in the jungle and talk to trees. Because I understood that in South Africa, the memories of just watching people being slit in the throat and then hung on a tree are the same experiences on an ancestral level with the African Americans. So I'm sorry, if you're not going to actually deal with that level of trauma and call back your energy and call back your power from that very experience, how do you think you're going to survive this? How do you think you're going to survive this? I'm just asking a question. Through Jesus? Jesus told you that the kingdom of heaven is within. Seek ye first the kingdom of heaven within. The Buddha sat under a Bodhi tree and just ommed himself away and awoken, reached enlightenment. So I don't actually understand how black folk are going to make it. I don't know how. You have no spiritual protection unless you call upon your ancestors. And your ancestors don't live in a grave where you're going to go have sex magic at graves. They don't live there. My father lives in me. His essence, when I tap my drum, I bang away my drum, I call upon him, he awakens. He's always awakened. He's always leading me. He's always communicating with me. The white people would call it spirit guides. amadlozi, idlozi, amadlozi, amadlozi wamahamba nam. Meaning my ancestors walk with me. They tell me, hey, you need some infusion of African men. I need to get some African men. That energy. It was real strong. It was real strong. It was real strong. It was real strong. I was like, oh, little Africa. But the men were strong. They were dark. Yo, wait. There were some men from, I don't know where they were from. I didn't ask, but they were pitch black. You know, the Africans which are pitch black, they were pitch black. The laugh was like, ha, ha, ha. I said, there you go. That is a real African man. There you go. But my dad sent me there because I was supposed to go to another Ethiopian restaurant, and then I just got lost. And then I ended up at this Ethiopian restaurant. Come to find out that I needed to have a conversation with these people because they had to explain to me about the ethnic cleansing trauma. And I was like, tell me more about this trauma of ethnic cleansing. Like, tell me more about the wars. Tell me more. I want to understand. And how are you processing this? They're like, yeah, we just sit and talk. And I say, blind leading the blind? So, like, traumatized people talking to traumatized people and you don't know how to, like, talk. They say, yes, but, we pray Allah. I say, okay, that's very nice that you're praying. But, like, God created doctors for a reason, nah? I said, y'all gonna end up taking real pills. And once you start taking pills, it's going to be a nightmare after that. Nobody's going to marry you. And if nobody. Because you're going to end up beating them. This is truth. It's truth. Okay. So, if you're a man listening to this, you're a woman listening to this, hey mama, African woman, white woman, black woman, Mexicano woman, Asian woman, all of our men are traumatized. I don't know a man who's not traumatized. And men don't talk. They do not talk. I know how to get a man to talk because I started this at 8 years old. A therapist to a visionary at 8 years old. My dad was talking to me about things that are happening now at 8 years old. At 36 years old, 3 plus 6 is 9. I was in South Africa having a conversation with my dad, 2017, and I was telling him about what was going on. I said, yo, Donald Trump, uyabaxhaphaza labantu in America. Like, Donald Trump is really creating something there in America. In 2017, I was having this conversation with my dad, and my dad said, oh, Tembi, the calling has begun. I said, what are you talking about? He said, Tembi, the calling has begun. I went off on an 8-year initiation. It was quite something. Now I'm back talking to the African men about it. But at least now they know that they're like, I have trauma. I said, what does trauma sound like? What does trauma feel like? What does that tell me more about your traumas? My dad had no idea what trauma was. He knew that something was wrong. Apartheid 1.0 was quite something. Apartheid 2.0, way. I say, way. You see, I trained for this. Mina ngintombi yomzulu mina. I trained for this. Many lifetimes I've been on this planet. In this lifetime, I decided not to just muck around. I just decided not to muck around. I got to America and I started training real hard, real steady, real hard, real steady. So if you have been partying, all sorts of these things, you are weak in the mind. They're going to get you exactly where you are weak. This is how this thing works. What do they call it in America? ESTA project, Project 2025. This is a joke. This is Apartheid 2.0. Apartheid 2.0. They had to go and play it out at the cradle of humanity in South Africa. Okay, where humanity began. They had to play it out there and test it out there first. And now they're testing it out where? In America? They're not testing it out. They're just them rolling out the real thing. The first move is just a tap. Are you ready? The second move is always the most potent move. First time Donald Trump came in, it was just like, hee. Are you ready? Second time is like, bam, bam. Now you're learning the hard way. So it's not Donald Trump that's involved in this stuff. This is bigger than Donald Trump. It's annihilation consciousness. It's bigger. It's bigger. It's way bigger. So you can fight Donald Trump all you want. This thing is going to, it's bigger than Donald Trump. I digress. The reason I'm telling you all of this is because we've got to read. If you are a man and you are living through this awakening nightmare, the words you say to yourself, the words you speak to yourself, about this experience that you are living through anywhere in the world. Because I was speaking to the Ethiopians and they were telling me about ethnic cleansing and the wars that are going on. And I said, but you understand that you're not special, because South Africans live through the same thing and they are still living through the same thing. And one of the guys was like, I would give anything to go to America because America is stable. I looked at him and I laughed so loud. I think it was offensive. I laughed. Honestly, I just laughed. I said, Let's read. You can tell I'm quite something. Dr. Tambe. Day 41, Integration Day. Healing words instead of harmful ones. I have not caused pain with my words. 5 days of examining how words wound across all life domains. The pattern is devastating. Words have the power to heal or harm, to build up or tear down, to create safety or generate trauma. Every painful word you speak plants seeds of suffering that can grow for decades. Your tongue is either a tool of medicine or a weapon of destruction. Because I grew up in civil war, I think I understood the power of words. When we would go to church, we would sing to uplift our spirit. My dad would feel so healthy after going to church. By Wednesday, his demons had started. And it wasn't demons of like demonic realms because he was involved in witchcraft or any of this dark energy. It was the trauma. He couldn't sleep. You cannot see women being hung on trees, slit throat, hung on a tree, gang raped, hung on a tree, men with machetes, cutting their head wide open. You cannot see such things and tell me that you're going to be a normal human being. No. You see, there weren't bombs in South Africa during apartheid. It was a tire around your neck, okay? And they pour petrol on you and they fucking light it up. Vroom! And you see somebody just in heat. You see people just slit throat, hang on tree, legs hanging. Okay? You cannot live through such stuff and be able to sleep. So when I was having a conversation with these guys and they were telling me that they cannot sleep, one of the guys said, I only sleep twice a week. I said, right. I used to be like that in America. First 7 years of America, I used to sleep 1 hour, 2 hours, boom, I was awake. The PTSD, the trauma, the insomnia was something I couldn't articulate it until I started studying psychology, and I became diligent in investing in my own therapy 4 to 5 days a week, plus doing gurumuk, kundalini yoga, all sorts of these things. Okay? And I went on a vegan diet when after maybe 18 months. I was already on a vegetarian diet. I never really Maybe I was actually on a raw diet because I didn't eat much meat, maybe twice a week. But then when I moved to Las Vegas, I literally went raw vegan because I was like, I need to heal my body. I need to heal my body. I need something's going on in my brain. I can't sleep. I just need to heal. I need to heal. I don't know what it's going to take, but I need to heal. So listening to these beautiful men, they had the languaging, the verbiage. I'm traumatized. I said, what does trauma? What is trauma? This is what I asked them. What is trauma? I can't sleep. I only sleep 2 days a week. I said, and if you don't sleep, what happens? Well, I start thinking, I start turning. I was like, this is my dad. This is my dad. This is most men. This is the story of most men. So as women, if you don't understand, the reason I'm sharing these things and I'm being kind of open and vulnerable about these things is because we as women look at a man and saying he's so sexy. Oh, look at this. These men were beautiful. Like Ethiopian men, when they're beautiful, they are beautiful. Honestly, they're sexy with their hair. You can start imagining all sorts of futures, what your children's hair is going to look like. Because sometimes as women, this is how far we think. Oh, I'm going to have beautiful children and I'm going to have beautiful pictures and on my wall. And this man, we're going to build a beautiful life together. Oh, it turns out that this man has got traumas you don't even understand. As a woman, you can go to your friends and cry and pray together. These men, yes, they sit and talk about business and God because these ones owned some businesses. They can sit and talk about God, whether it's Allah or Jesus or whatever, and business, but they don't know how to integrate their traumas. As women, we understand emotions, we cry and all sorts of these things. But what I realized about the African men was that they sit together, they heal together, they call each other because they are expats. So they have to look out for each other. I think I'm the only African expat who's like, sovereign. I'm the only black one. Because I want to understand this thing. I just don't want to be involved in people's energies. I can be there to be of support, but then I want to get myself out so that I'm not entangled in energies. I've been doing this a long time on planet Earth. Many lifetimes on this planet. So this lifetime, I don't want to get entangled in energies. Okay. But I still like to go get an infusion of African, you know, so good. The reason I'm sharing this is that as women, whether you are Caucasian, whether you are African American, whether you are African, whether you are Asian, whether you are Hispanic, men are traumatized. But what about us as women? You are traumatized as a woman in your own right. Think about how many lifetimes you've lived on this planet. Well, I don't know. I don't believe in reincarnation. Okay, fair. But think about your grandmothers. Think about your mother. Think about you. Just 3 generations. Not even your great-grandmother. Let's go. Great-grandmother, grandmother, mother, you. 4 generations. Because most brains can only handle, that much. 4 generations. If you actually asked your grandmother what she was living through, she didn't have a cell phone. She didn't have ChatGPT or the internet. Life was kind of different. Maybe your grandfather was beating the hell out of her. Where do you think that trauma is just gone? No, it lives in you here. Think of your mother, what she was living through. Because when I realized what my mother was living through, I said, damn, man, I got a good man. I got a good man. I chose a good one in this lifetime. Because I'm Zulu. I would have killed somebody. I would have been in prison. But now, because I know myself. Ngiyaqhuma la ekhanda mina. Ngiyaqhuma mina la ekhanda. Ngintombi yomZulu mina. Meaning, when a Zulu woman goes, like, I'm very calm, but I'm dangerous because I'm very calm. And because I'm very calm, when I pop off, it's war. It's like war. I don't stop. I just keep going until it's finished, collapsed, complete. This is me. I know myself. So, in this lifetime, I said, let me just marry a nice Irish American German man, and who's just calm, who just looks at me, puts on his shoes and walks out the door when I start with my Zulu things. Okay? So, woman, The reason I am sharing this to you is that sometimes you need to understand where your men are. These men are traumatized. They are traumatized. So you need to understand, this one. If I talk like this, I talk like this, I talk like this, maybe it's the quiet ones. These quiet people are no joke, because the quiet people are actually studying you. The ones that talk a lot, are they stupid? Honestly, people who talk a lot are not very smart. They function at the lowest levels of human existence. An empty tin makes the loudest noise because they have nothing in their brains. The ones who are quiet, you need to be very careful of these quiet ones, because they are studying you and they're sitting there studying you. Here, when they kill you, it's going to be quite something. Or when they come for you, they are coming for you on a level that you won't even understand. This is why I am telling you that I'm a very quiet person. Because when I switch like this, it's no, I don't stop. I don't stop until it's finished. Like complete collapse. I don't stop. But this is why I can tell you how Apartheid 2.0 is rolling out. This is why I can tell you that they're going to come for you at your weakest point. You don't even know what you are weak at. You think you know what your weaknesses are. You don't know what your weaknesses are. Because this experience for me, the past kind of 5 years, it's actually been 18 years. It's been 18 years since I let my sibling come to America. Yeah, 18 years. It has been fucking hell. Hell. Like I didn't even understand hell could exist. I thought I left that hell in South Africa. Oh, no. I invited hell into my life. And it's only kind of this year that I'm like, damn, I lived through hell. But it was good, because the resilience that I needed to build, the inner spiritual strength that I needed to keep embodying and keep sharpening and molding. And if you don't have that, because you are busy night clubbing, you are busy going on trips, you are busy doing all sorts of things, it's going to annihilate you. This energy. I'm sorry, I'm not going to try and sugarcoat this and be love and light and all of this stuff. It's going to annihilate you. If you are afraid of death, they're going to kill you. So honestly, it's probably good you come face to face with your own death, because this is the only way you're going to make it out. But anyway, there's no such thing as death. Death is an illusion. You'll be back next lifetime to repeat the same hell until you get it. Okay? So, woman, so that these men don't kill you, whether your intimate partner, especially because most women are traumatized by the intimate partner, it is important to know thyself. If you come from a war-torn zone, it is important to understand that your husband or your lover or your boothing or your bathing is not as strong as you think he is. It is important to ask questions. How do you feel? What goes on when you cannot sleep? What are the memories that are coming up when you cannot sleep? What is troubling you? What do you think it's going to take for you to heal? And men don't have that verbiage. They don't. Men now they are starting to be like, I'm traumatized. But it's like these are the ones that have but they were going to tell you, therapy is a luxury. We cannot afford this. We've got to feed the children. So you as a woman have got to be a therapist by knowing thyself. And not tiptoeing around this man, but also not disrespecting the healing journey. Because men heal on a different level. My dad taught me this. Honestly, my dad taught me this. We need to get these men to start talking. And it's not, they cannot just be talking, what is it they're talking? blind leading the blind. Because when these men sit together and talk, they don't know what the hell is going on. It's just blind leading the blind. Yes, they can pray and they can talk about Allah and they can talk about Jesus and their businesses and their boy things that they talk about. But it's honestly blind leading the blind, because men are not inherently healers. Because they come out of our wombs and onto our breasts. So I'm sorry, they are our children. So sometimes, especially if a man is traumatized, you've got to kind of look at them as a child. Sorry, guys, if you're listening to this, please understand I love you long time. I really love you long time. But my dad was my child, especially when I was like 36 and I was in South Africa 2017. I was like, this is a child. This is a child. This is my child. Now you shut up and sit down and listen to what I got to say. I remember literally having therapy sessions with my dad, cooking for my dad, running his bath and pouring all sorts of essential oils in the bath. And because I used to like mixing these essential oils, I learned about essential oils and mixing healing essential oils, because it's just my own healing journey and just studying a lot of this stuff on essential oils. But also I'd already started dabbling with, experimenting with flower essence, because my grandmother used to use a lot of flowers in healing. But I'd already started experimenting with flower essence. So I went to South Africa with a whole bunch of essential oils and flower essence, and I was just pouring that into the bath for my dad. I'm like, get into the bath and close the door and take off your clothes and bath. But before you bath, sit here for 1 hour with all of these essential oils and let them steam you, let them go into your electromagnetic field. Just sit and relax in the bath. And I put some Epsom salt in the bath. And he said, so I mustn't use salt. I said, oh, listen, he's a child. He doesn't even know. Yes, don't use Epsom, don't use soap. Just sit in this bath and just inhale these essential oils. And then maybe after 45 minutes, you can then take, pull this, you can either put in new fresh water, or you can just use your soap now and bath. But 1 hour, just sit in this. And I realized my dad had become my child, because as a healer, I understood what to do for him to help him just stabilize. Just stabilize. It was like the first time in my life where I really had a relationship with my dad, where, okay, the roles had reversed and I was the one now helping him, because he helped me be able to even go to private school so I could leave South Africa, go to America and go learn something. Actually, really, I didn't learn something. I just remembered, but also just have the ability to be away from the violence and the trauma and be able to stabilize so that I could bring the medicine back to the man who invested in my ability to even go overseas by just giving me a good ass education. It was so beautiful to be able to give him back just that one experience of just 3 months of just playing with him and being with him and showing them that, you know, healing is possible. I remember my dad coming out of the bath after I just drawn him a bath, and he said to me, oh, I've never felt so good. I said, oh, yeah. And he slept at my house. Well, he was staying in my house for times. And so he slept at my house. And the next morning we woke up and meditated together. And he said, you know, Tim, I haven't slept like that in a long time. I said, right. I know the secrets. He says, oh, yes. Uinyanga, meaning you're a healer, you're a real traditional healer. But I said, I'm a fancy healer. I studied neuroscience, I studied meditation, I studied all these things. He says, no, man, you're a real healer. I said, and you don't have to take pills. I do the real thing. The real thing. Like, I literally put him on a protocol when he was living with me. Well, he wasn't really living with me, just come and visit for 2 days, 3 days, and he would go back to his house. But I put him on a strict protocol of good food, baths. I ran baths for him, a lot of damn essential oils, meditation, and therapy out in the sun. We used to just sit outside in the sun, and he would just talk. talk and I would ask him questions. Because my dad raised me to ask questions. Because he used to ask me questions. So as a woman, we can try to uplift our men. The best way is to ask questions. There are some men that are far gone. You can't help them. They are far gone. They are just garbage. You can't help them. You've got to leave these ones alone. The trauma is too much, or they're just demonic. If a man is into satanism and cults and shit like this, you got to just let this garbage go. Just let it go. There's nothing you can do for them. My dad wasn't. My dad didn't go to graveyards. My dad didn't do witchcraft, none of this rubbish. He just used to go to church. He loved God. So I knew that I could work with him because it was the trauma and the loss of hope. It wasn't the witchcraft and the satanism and the killing of children in graveyards. None of this rubbish. So I knew that I could kind of work through with him on that energy of trauma. It was the best gift I could give to my dad. And I think that's why I still have a very strong ancestral relationship with my dad. Even though he's passed, I can still hear his heartbeat. I can still talk to him. He still is guiding me through this. He's like, Tembi, sit down. Don't talk. Start talking. Say this. Keep quiet. Don't mention what we've spoken about in our ancestral time together. I still hear the voice of God through my dad. If you are a daughter and you had a difficult time with your father, it is highly imperative that you heal that relationship on even if your father has passed away. Because if you don't heal that relationship, you will be involved with men who will abuse you. Truly this, you will be involved with men who will abuse you. Because the trauma that still lives in your father lives in you. And it will attract men that will definitely play out that trauma. Even if your dad was not in your life, because he was drunk, he was in prison, he died, whatever it is, that trauma still lives in your electromagnetic field and in your DNA. You can still have a relationship with your father, your grandfather, your great-grandfather, even on the other side. But some of them you don't really want to have a relationship with them. Some ancestors are trash. There's nothing you can do. It's just trash. They still like functioning at very low levels of consciousness. You don't want to deal with this stuff. You don't want to deal. That's why I was watching the South African podcast on the shamans in South Africa, and they're calling on their ancestors. I'm like, what kind of an ancestor is this? And you're drinking and your ancestors are okay with this? I'm like, what kind of... Because I'm sorry, African ancestors are traumatized. That's why I was like, no. I don't want this initiation, because it's just dealing with traumatized ancestors who are angry. Yo. Okay. It's the same thing with the Hispanics. Santeria. Your ancestors are angry. It's the same thing with the Asians. The Filipinos, the Vietnams. Okay. Why I say Vietnams is because when I was living in China, the Chinese didn't say Vietnamese, they say Vietnams. So is the Vietnamese, your ancestors are still very angry, especially if you're living in America. Your ancestors are very angry. So you're calling on your ancestors. What ancestor? Angry one? They're going to make you do angry things. You're going to end up in prison. Or you're going to end up destroying yourself and your own families. I swear to you this. So be very conscious and careful when you call upon these ancestors. Rather, this is why I say, call upon Kuan Yin. She is a powerful ancestor. Call upon Buddha consciousness. Powerful, clean ancestor. Call upon Osset, Hathor, Sekhmet, Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene, Green Tara, White Buffalo Woman, Christ consciousness. These are pure ancestors, because some of our ancestors are so traumatized and they are coming back to a repeat. Wait. Okay, let's go back. Okay, so every painful word you speak plants seeds of suffering that can grow for decades. Your tongue is either a tool of medicine or a weapon of destruction. Causing pain with words is also a choice, even when it doesn't feel like one. In anger, fear, or pain, you might feel compelled to wound with words. But there's always a pause between feeling and speaking where choice lives. Oh, listen to that. In anger, fear, or pain, you might feel compelled to wound with words. But there's always a pause between feeling and speaking where choice lives. In that pause, you can choose to heal rather than harm, to build rather than destroy. Notice the common thread. Words that wound always serve the speaker's ego more than the listener's growth. You cause pain with words to discharge your own pain, to feel powerful when you feel powerless, to wound others as you've been wounded. But this cycle only perpetuates suffering rather than healing it. Yo, this one. It hit me deep. It touched me deep inside. Okay. Embodiment practice. Feel the weight of every painful word you've ever spoken across all domains. Notice how carrying this history of harmful speech affects your body and spirit. Now commit to using your voice only for healing. And say, my words heal rather than harm. I use my voice to build others up, never to tear them down. My words heal rather than harm. I use my voice to build others up, never to tear them down. Okay, that is also very subjective. Depending on where you've grown up and what kind of trauma you've experienced and maybe not experienced, you can feel like people are traumatizing you even when they're not traumatizing you. Yeah, you can feel like people are traumatizing you even when they're not traumatizing you. Like sometimes my husband feels like I'm traumatizing him. And I'm like, what? I'm not traumatizing you. I'm not traumatizing you. But to him, I'm traumatizing him. I'm absolutely traumatizing him because he didn't grow up in war. He didn't grow up in civil war. So to him, what looks like strength and for what to me is, hey, strength, get going, get moving, is traumatizing to him. And I'm just like, oh, bro, this is so ignorant. But this is the beauty of the human experience, is that for what sometimes is traumatizing to one person can be healing to another person. What is healing to another person is traumatizing to another person. When you can balance that out, that's where the beauty happens. Truly, that's where the beauty happens. That is where the beauty happens. Okay, so I went on a long tangent today and it was different. And I hope my microphone, the volume was not too low. I'm just like trying my best here. Yeah, maybe the volume was a little bit too low. Oh well. I hope not. But let me see. Where is my lighter? So it's better. It's best now we start with our mindfulness mentoring session, so that we I'm lighting my sage. Can say something good to ourselves. Because I really believe that a lot of us and many of us are living in a vibration where, like, harmful words are a normal part of the day. Harmful words. We hear it on social media. We hear it from our parents. We hear it from our partners. Because there's a lot of anger on planet Earth at the moment. Oh God, there's a lot of anger on planet Earth. And with social media, it amplifies this anger. It amplifies this emotion or this feeling of powerlessness. Oh my goodness. And this experience of I'm detached from the whole. So whatever I speak doesn't really matter. As long as I've said my piece. I've said my piece, what I need to say. So I'm sorry, not sorry that you're hurt by what I've had to say. But you don't know who you're dealing with. You don't know who you are stealing from. You don't know who you are speaking to. Some people are powerful out here. The reason I'm quiet is because I understand my power. I understand how many lifetimes I've been here on this planet. I understand that when I say you are finished, you are gone, it's law. It's not an if, it's not a but, it's not a maybe. It's law. It's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of when. It's just a matter of when. That's why I don't engage in stupidity. Because I know how powerful my word is. So be conscious, human being, in who you are on a daily basis and who you choose to be on a daily basis. And what you decide to speak with your mouth. Because there are powerful beings out here on planet Earth. They are not human. You think they are human. On the demonic realm and also on the angelic realm. And you could be just speaking wow, 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 wow. And that person is like, I've had enough of you. Done. Finish. Get off this planet. Don't come back. And you're done. Because there are some souls that have that level of power and authority, spiritual authority. And when they decide to use it, you are a story that never was. You will never be. Because empty tins make the loudest noise. Empty vessels lie the loudest. Okay. So, let's do something 15 minutes. Yeah. Let's start. Very short. Please gently close your eyes. Taking a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. In through your nose and out through your mouth. Good. So now I would like for you to just relax into this moment. And go back into your memory. Over the past week. Just the past week. Not back to when you were 5, to when you were 8, when you were 16, just the past week. It is Sunday today. Starting from just Monday till Sunday today. I would like you to go back and just look at your week. And remember a time when you said something good about yourself or someone else. Remember a time this past week when you just said something good to someone else or about yourself. Maybe you passed somebody and you saw that they had beautiful pairs of shoes. Instead of judging them about other parts of their body or other parts of their outfit, you were just like, wow, what a beautiful pair of shoes. Or maybe you looked at yourself and you said, I love myself today. I don't really feel it, but I'm just choosing to say I love myself today. I honor myself today. Maybe you said something kind to someone this past week and you sincerely meant it. You meant it. I just want you to be in that feeling of remembering in the past 7 days where you said something good to someone. You thought a good, wholesome, loving thought towards someone else. And you meant it. Honestly, you just meant it. Or you had a good, loving thought towards yourself. And you meant it. You honestly just meant it. And you're like, you know what? I look good today. You know what? I just love myself today. I don't know why I love myself. I don't know why I think I'm beautiful today. But I just love myself today. Just bask in that memory. Just bask in that memory. Bask in that memory. Knowing that you are capable of saying, of thinking, of doing good. Of choosing goodness. You are capable. You are capable of choosing, saying, being, thinking goodness. Love. You are capable. Bask in that knowing. Because this is the ultimate truth of your being. You are capable. You are capable. Because you are the face of divinity. You are the face of infinite intelligence expressing itself. You are the face of wisdom revealing itself. You are the face of wholeness activating through your body temple, your mental storehouse, the radiance of your life. You are capable. So bask in that memory. Over the past 7 days, where you felt good about saying something good about yourself. Thinking something good about someone else or yourself. Engaging in something good from a pure heart, not from manipulation, but just from a pure heart. Just from a pure heart. Whether you said something good to your spouse or your boyfriend or your bathing or your boothing or your friend or yourself, ideally towards yourself. But if you can't even say something good about yourself, maybe to someone else. Just bask in that ability, that capacity. You are capable. That awareness of your capability to think goodness, to speak goodness, to live and act from goodness. You are capable. And this awareness allows your nervous system to relax into the goodness that you are. The goodness that lives in you, as you, through you. The goodness that you are. Life through you is good. Life through you is kind. Life through you is beauty. Life through you is the abundance of experiences that allow you to know that your purpose is unfolding And there are ample opportunities for you to be in service to humanity as and through your purpose. This is goodness. This is goodness revealing itself. This is goodness revealing itself. We are in a time in human history where all beings on planet Earth must align with their purpose, must fulfill their purpose. And no matter what we think of AI, no matter what we think of annihilation consciousness, no matter what pain it may bring, no matter what fear AI taking our jobs may bring, we know that our purpose, our goodness, will sustain us, will provide for us, will make a way out of no way. We will not fear, because fear is not a part of goodness. Our goodness will sustain us. Our purpose will sustain us. The courage to look death in the face and say, I am good, because I am the face of divinity. This will sustain you. The opportunity to fulfill your purpose will reveal itself. It will reveal itself. And the courage to step forward will activate. And it will feel like a yes. Because now in your body temple, you know what goodness feels like. You know where to put your finger and feel the goodness of being kind to yourself, of saying kind things to yourself. So because you know that and you listen to the kindness in your body temple, you know how to share that with the world. Your purpose is not something you do. Your purpose is remembering who you are. And from that remembrance, fulfilling that, living only from that truth. So AI has no power over you. Death has no power over you. Annihilation consciousness has no power over you. Yes, it is a fact. However, it is not the truth. The truth of your being is that you are the face of divinity. And as the face of divinity, nothing can touch you. Nothing can touch you. So tap into your body temple and feel and remember the goodness of saying something kind to yourself. Bask in that moment. Bask in that moment. And as you have basked in that moment, recognize that as you strengthen the ability to bask in the moment of living in your internal goodness, nothing on the outside of you has power over you. Nothing on the outside of you has power over you. And as you strengthen this awareness and keep strengthening this awareness, you come to a recognition that you will not die. No, you are immortal. And specifically for such a time as this in human history, you will not take your last breath until you fulfill your purpose and complete it. Because you know what goodness feels like. Kindness feels like. Love feels like. And this frequency of love and kindness and goodness is more powerful than anything on the outside of you that threatens to destabilize you. You are power. The power of the living God as your being. You are love. The love of the universe expressing through and as you. You are wisdom. You will know where to go, what to say, to whom you should say it to, and how you should say it. And life will respond in kind. Opportunities, hidden doors will open. Invisible channels will be set free. Divine abundance will flow in its unique and perfect way. This is truth. Be still and feel first your own goodness so that you could be led to the right people at the right time, so that your purpose is fulfilled in the most beautiful way. You are here to fulfill your purpose for such a time as this. You have chosen to incarnate into this life experience because you know you hold something of magnificence, something so great, so beautiful. Only you can fulfill. Taking a deep breath in through the nose. And out through the mouth. Again, please take a deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. May I be happy. May I be peaceful. May I be liberated from ignorance. May I be liberated from suffering. May all be happy. May all beings be peaceful. May all beings be liberated from ignorance. May all beings be liberated from suffering. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Be happy. Remember every single moment what goodness feels like. Remember, every step you take on this planet, what kindness feels like in your body temple, in your spirit, in your mind. Remember what peace feels like, what love for thyself feels like, the frequency of love, of kindness, of goodness. So this can just radiate through and as you. Opportunities will reveal themselves. People will come and tell you exactly what they need, and all you got to do is listen. You will have money, you will be in wealth, because I can honestly tell you this. Consciousness is awakening. It has already awoken. And for those that have chosen, the future gen leaders that have chosen for such a time as this to come onto this planet, you will have everything that is in you, as you, the frequencies that you have embodied, that are frequencies of love, of grace, of peace, of joy. They will draw unto you those who are just as kind, just as loving, just as peaceful, but they're in a temporary state of sleep because of trauma, but they know that it is their mandate in this lifetime to arise, to awaken. You will be protected by the vibration of love itself. You will be provided for by the frequency of peace itself. You will have all of your needs met. No matter how dark it looks, no matter what seeming pain, no matter what seeming closed doors. Now, your spirit will talk. Go there. Speak to these people. Say this and let them speak their truths. And you will be the medicine. I am living proof of this. Be still and know that everything you need is actually looking for you too. And at the right time, you will go to the right places, you will speak to the right people, and everything will start to unfold in divine right timing, divine right action. You don't need to do anything or force your way through anything. Everything will reveal itself. Ngiyabonga. Amadluzi ayabonga. The ancestors at the highest levels of God consciousness are grateful for you being here. The ascended masters at the highest levels of God consciousness are grateful for you participating in this mindfulness mentoring experience. You are love. You are the face of divinity. You are peace. You are joy. And so it is. See you tomorrow.